All right, boys, I'm in my fucking bathroom here before this pod goes live, but I just want to let you know that this interview got a little crazy and with like pandemic talk and stuff. You guys know how it is. You can't put any of that shit on YouTube or they'll delete the video or kill the views. So we put the uncensored version of this podcast on fullsend.com. You guys have heard me talk about this before, but fullsend.com, we put all our uncensored shit. Social media, not just YouTube, honestly, as a whole is getting fucking bad. You can't say your opinion on anything. So on fullsend.com, we put this interview. It's uncensored. We talked about the pandemic. We talked about a lot of touchy stuff, man. And I really think if you're a member, go listen to it on there. But we did throw it up on YouTube because, you know, not everyone can afford it. Some people want it free and stuff. But for those of you, the many members that we have, thank you. And go watch it on there. Candace is fucking dope. I really, really enjoyed this. Shout out to Candace, and let's get into the podcast. What's up, boys? Are we rolling?
Yeah, this is the real deal. This is a lot. Sometimes you just go so crazy in the DMs, you get so excited, you start just DMing people, not realizing doing your research. Holy fucking shit. This is fucking nerve-wracking.
Here it is.
Yeah. Today.
Are we rolling right now?
Gabe's probably not the best stand-in for Candace.
All right, boys, so we're back. Another Full Send podcast episode. We're in Nashville right now. We're at the Daily Wire studio. I didn't even know we were here, but we got Bob, and today we got Steve's assistant, Steiny, bringing him back. Salim got stuck in fucking Santa Barbara. His Tesla died.
Oh, really?
So he just completely fucked off for this episode.
Was I like the first guy you called, or?
You were like third.
Oh, really?
Yeah, we called Brad, and then we
Nice.
debated John Shahidi, and then
Really?
and then you.
Oh, nice.
So-
Well, happy to be here.
Yeah.
Well, this
First
is the
one
thing.
with
I think you got to take. First of all, you're a Zerat, so limited talking and spoke when spoken to. But at the end of the day, this is a big episode for you because this is a very controversial episode here. Got to be a little bit on our toes. I didn't know, by the way. She's not that liked, to be honest with you.
How do you not know
she's,
that?
She's very controversial. She's liked, but she's also hated.
She's hated, but
She's
she's
like one of the most controversial politicians.
Well,
out
when you
there.
guys,
You booked this, Bob.
I tell you what. Well, I didn't.
How prepared are you for this? I want to know.
How prepared?
Yeah.
Zero. I don't know one thing about politics. I don't know one thing. I don't know what the fucking China. I don't know anything. I'm just gonna chill. I ain't gonna say shit. Fucked
Yo,
up
we
this
actually
episode.
have to talk about that because you're doing he's doing 14 days sober.
Yeah.
Have you ever heard of someone being like, yo, 2 weeks and making it this big
I
of a
know,
deal?
like it's not even a month. Like it's
Yeah,
not even sober
do 3
January.
months. bro.
Honestly, well, I'll be honest with you. Normally, I am at this point. What is it? 10 in the morning.
Yeah.
So at this point, I am usually 9 cocktails in, coming into this thing hot. Right now, completely sober. So you could let me know if it's a better version of me or not. I don't know.
I don't know. I just think 14 days is kind of weak to like.
Are you
be
singed or
posting
no?
Everywhere.
No zings, no alcohol. 14
What,
days,
did
and then
something lead
when
to
day
this?
15 hits, it's gonna be like fucking Hurricane Katrina. I'm gonna go fucking
So
wild.
what's the point of that? Like
Yes.
just a little cleanse?
I want to at least make it to 40.
Just to prove it to yourself, or is it more of like a cleanse thing?
More of a cleanse and not prove it to myself. No, I know
Wait,
I can
something-
do it. I've done it before.
Yeah,
so
you
I
do it
made-
all the time.
I made a bet with Ruben and Christian McCaffrey. None of them pay me the bet, by the way. Ruben owes me artist passes at Coachella and something else. McCaffrey owes me 3 shoutouts in the NFL. Both of them. I did 60 days no drinking. Man, you remember that? I got
Yeah.
fucked.
That was 60 days.
60 days total.
Oh.
The first 7
Something
days,
had to have led to this, no? Like a fight with your girl or something?
probably.
So are you a little? Because if you guys don't know, Bob, one thing I've learned about him is he's very, very scared of getting canceled. So anything that comes up about like controversy or like politics, like he said, he gets really shaky. He starts shaking.
No,
right
what
away
I
and shit.
don't want
You just
to-
don't like. Your biggest fear is getting canceled.
No, what I don't like to happen is I got a lot of relationships everywhere, so I like to keep everybody happy. That's why I bring the best guests on here. That's why we have the best people. I keep everybody
But like
balanced.
relationships with
So
who?
keep it down a little bit, all right? She's walking in a minute, so I like to keep everybody.
Bro,
just-
you get hammered every night. Like, you don't think that's a scare for brands out there?
well, it's working. Yeah, actually, that's true.
I know.
Yeah, it's like blasting my girl in my stories and like just yeah, you're right. So maybe I'm not that brand friendly, but at the end of the day, this is just playing with fire.
You think?
Oh,
Well, I
I
just want to
know.
make this clear that you were the one that was really pushing for
Yeah.
Candace Owens.
That's not true.
What
I'm
topic-
very excited to talk with her.
Yo,
but-
what topics
so am
scare
I,
you,
but-
if any?
Every single thing across the map. Anyways, so how was
so,
everybody's day?
so we're in the Daily Wire studio too. You guys know like Ben Shapiro and shit.
Yeah.
I didn't know that we were
How do you not
coming
know
here.
him, Bob?
He films it. Of course, Ben Shapiro. He films in here.
He's a massive podcast.
Oh my God! Can
We
I
gotta
get a
get
selfie
him
with him before he
next.
leaves?
I don't think he's here.
I don't think
but
he's here.
You should try and book him.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably after this one. I think politics is just not our thing. So here's the deal. I think to be honest with you too, though, do you enjoy doing political figures? Or
Yeah,
not?
I
You
like
do?
it. I like it.
Really?
You did Trump Jr., bro.
We did Trump Jr. Yeah, that was well. I did it more Trump Jr. because it was Afghanistan was going on and all that stuff, and so I just thought, and it was early in the pod. We just dropped a nice mainstream.
Bob pissed off the right with like something he said in his story, so he wanted to like do something like support the troops.
Oh, Mika Parsons. Yeah, we were. At the
Whenever
game.
Bob does something controversial, he likes to counter like it was something good. So Bob threw on his NYPD hat when he was like getting canceled, and he put on his NYPD hat, and he takes a story and says support our law enforcement.
what was good with
shit.
that hat?
Yeah,
You threw up a
fans, no,
feeder
it's
for that.
butt of all jokes.
No, because that's
here.
what he's thinking. He's like, yo, I'm gonna do
That's
is support
not
the
true.
troops.
My uncle
calm
always does
everybody
that.
down.
My uncle
Law
Al
enforcement.
Manzi is a Massachusetts state police officer, and I support.
You like have a
police.
guy walking down the street, gives you a weird look, and then you throw up a feeder with the police, bro. It's crazy.
Well, I tell you what, it's working. So let's keep it going. Anyways, do you know how heavy this is going to be? The first episode we're ever going to heavy edit with you involved. This is it. Usually we don't edit shit. It's usually pretty well done, but this thing is going to be fucking chopped and butchered. I'm going to be with binoculars looking at this thing with Nick.
There's nothing to be afraid of. I don't
I'm going to be
understand.
popping 4 zaps and looking at everything
We
on
can't.
planet Earth.
You really like? Are you kind of scared to talk about this type of shit?
No.
Dude, Bob, you shouldn't be so afraid, man.
I'm not afraid.
Like, seriously.
I'm not.
Just be who you are,
if I
bro.
don't, here's the deal. What I don't do is I don't talk about something if I don't know about it. So I'm not going to.
But you don't know about
I'm
a
not
lot
gonna
of
sit
things
here and
that you
debate
talk
about
about.
her in China when I know nothing about China. I'm not going to sit here and debate her about power grids in the U.S. I don't know about power grids. What I'm interested in.
What
is
do
I
you
wanna
know
see
stuff
how-
about?
I want to know how motherhood's going. I want to know how our children are.
That's cool. Yeah, I don't know if people really care that much about that.
Wait, Bob, do you think you'll ever have
She
a
just
kid?
did a Trump.
Do you think you'll ever have a kid?
Will I ever have a kid?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to name him Zap.
How far
That'd be
away do you think that
dope.
is?
Dude, Zap.
Who do
the
you think's
baby.
gonna be the first to have a kid?
I think we'd come
out
out
of
like
the squad.
Steve will do it.
cracked
You
out.
think?
No, I don't know. Well, wait, Bob, how far away is that?
I feel like Steve wants one, right?
Probably. I
Yeah.
feel like the fake pregnancy thing probably like he was taking it a little serious.
Yeah.
How far away I am from having a kid?
Yeah. I don't think you're
I
fit
wanna
to be
have
a
one soon.
parent right now. I don't know if you're going to change in the next few years, but
Well, I fall in love so easily. Obviously, me and my girl are back
Is Summer
together.
the one you think?
Yeah, I mean we're back
you
together.
should just start
obviously.
getting baby mamas, bro.
No baby mamas.
No?
No. I got one girl. That's it. That's how I try and do it. Sometimes I'll slip up a little bit and send a couple DMs and like ding ding ding. But like I'm pretty usually.
You're
good.
the guy that tries to have like save the relationship with a kid.
But I'm the kind of guy that's like, baby, I love you. After 2 weeks, let's have a baby. Let's have a baby.
Would you
like
like
kid,
marry
bro.
her or would you just have a kid?
I would marry her first.
Yeah.
I'm old school. My mother and father raised me right. I'm an old school guy. I
You'd
get
have a
down.
kid that would just be a genius somehow.
He'd be probably on the spectrum a little bit. Probably would.
Another edgy statement there. From
No,
Bob.
not at all. I actually
Yeah.
took care. Actually, no, it's funny. Funny story is I actually for 5 years took
Making
care
here
a
we
joke
go.
about mental disabilities.
Wait, he's going to make his saving
That's
comment right now.
kinda
Go ahead.
fucked.
5 years I took care of a
Yo,
kid
save
named
yourself.
Charlie Alex. He was an autistic child. Took care of him 5 years. It was the best 5 years of my life. We had a great relationship. 5 years. All right, so when are we getting this thing cooking? By the way, let's keep this episode quick today. I'm got to go to Boston, and then we're going to. By the way, I'm going to try and finagle.
Who?
I'm going to try and get Kanye. And by the way, I don't
with
know what's
it.
going on between this and. Oh,
Hey, what's up?
Candace.
How are you?
I think I'm 10 minutes late.
No, you're good.
I got a baby, so, you know,
There you go, Bob.
do the best I can.
You got the baby.
We were
now.
just talking about babies. Yeah, yesterday.
That's her excuse. That's her excuse, Candace. Are you cool with that seat? You need to rearrange or anything? Or are you good?
See if the mic's good.
Happy dad.
This is our seltzer.
Shameless plug.
Yeah.
Shameless
Pretty
plug.
much.
They always
Pretty
sneak it in.
much.
They do it to me too. That's what
Let
they
me
do.
hide my essential water then. Should I put it
No,
tomorrow?
you're good.
No, you're
All right, all right, cool.
This is a pretty free flowing thing. So
Awesome.
Yeah, we're just rocking, honestly. So we got Candace. Really, thank you for coming in. This is
rolling?
really cool. Yeah, we're rolling.
Oh, hey, what's up?
We just go for it. We're pretty
Yeah.
run and gun. So this is the Daily Wire.
Yeah, this
I didn't
is the
even
Daily
know
Wire.
I didn't know that we were coming here. What-
Yeah.
Who owns the Daily Wire? How does that work with you?
It's-
I don't know if you
it's-
could talk about that.
Yeah,
but-
no, it's totally fine. Daily Wire is, it's owned by a few people, right? It's
Yeah.
not just a couple people, but Jeremy, the CEO, is a partial owner. And there's Caleb, who's a partial owner. Ben Shapiro is a partial owner. So it's a lot of people. I don't know the exact structure.
When did you come into the Daily Wire? Is that
Last year.
Last year, yeah.
That's why I moved to Tennessee. So I was living in DC. I joined the Daily Wire last year. I think we announced it Christmas 2020, and then my show started in March. Yeah.
So it's like a subscription model, right?
Subscription model behind a paywall, which
does
is
that-
kind
how
of
does that work?
safer for, especially
Content.
for content, because if stuff gets taken off the web and that's how you're earning your income, and they just like delete all your accounts, then you're totally screwed.
That's one thing we do because on YouTube we get we upload a lot of edgy stuff, and we find we can't talk about certain things.
Yeah.
Even on YouTube, when we say COVID,
Yeah.
it literally gets less views.
Because Big Pharma is just there has so much cash behind all of the social media sites. I mean, they give them billions of dollars, so they just control what you're allowed to talk about, which is kind of insane.
Yeah, that's why I'm we have our own subscription thing too, where it's if we ever talk about COVID or certain topics, we don't even put it on YouTube now because it's just we don't want to kill our views.
Yeah.
It's just you can't even do it anymore.
Yeah,
which is
which
crazy.
is where's the First Amendment? But these companies apparently don't have to follow the rules. So
That's a massive rock on your finger, by the way.
thank you.
I admire that.
Is
Wow,
that a
look at that
compliment?
thing.
Thank you. It's pretty,
You're
right?
recently married or what?
I got married in 2019. Yeah, so I guess you could say recent. After you have a kid, it feels like it's longer. But yeah, I got married in 2019 in Virginia. My husband's English. Met in London. Got engaged 2 weeks later, and then got married about 8 months after that. Yeah.
Where did you get all your? I mean, it's obviously a question that's probably asked thousands of times and whatnot, kind of a boring one. But where'd you get your start?
My start in what?
Journalism or whatever your journalism.
what
journalism-
would you classify yourself as?
Yeah,
as well?
I mean, I do a lot of stuff, so it's kind of hard because I mean, I write, obviously, I'm an author, and I create content, but I also do a lot of interviews, I do a lot of news hits, so it's a lot. And I mean, the best place that I got my the answer to that is on YouTube. Is kind of, if you're talking about just my public profile, I started making YouTube videos in 2017. And I was doing skits, actually. I was just doing skits kind of mocking. I feel like that's kind of when politics got hysterical. You know what I mean? Prior to when I was in college, Republicans and Democrats were just friends. It was totally fine to not talk about politics. And then it was suddenly not fine, and people got very hysterical, especially after the Trump win, and I started making skits kind of mocking that, and I think it was my third or fourth video that went trending worldwide. It got 26 million views.
Who were some of the influential people that came at you for your views and your? I mean, LeBron came at you, didn't he? Cardi B came at you.
LeBron never came after me. I actually usually go after LeBron because I think it's important for him with the platform that he has, and I think that, to be clear, LeBron is a well-meaning person. I don't think LeBron means to do bad. I just don't think he's that smart. I really do. I think LeBron James is low IQ.
Why do you say that, though?
Because I've heard him speak about issues, and he's so wrong. But I think he carries with him an arrogance, which isn't hard when you're being called a king, right? And he is an incredible talent. There's no doubt about that. He's an incredible talent. It's very hard to level yourself and to say, okay, I can be really talented, but also not be educated about something, right? And if you are not educated about something, you shouldn't speak on it. I try to do very good about that. If I don't know something, I try to listen, And
I usually talk 95% of the podcast, by the way, Candace. I talk 95% of every podcast. I am fucking, this is all you. This is all you, Candace.
So, but would you rather
It's a
LeBron?
good way to be. And I've done that before when people are talking about something. I'll say, actually, I don't know anything about this, and I'm just going to listen. And I think for LeBron,
Would you rather him be quiet, though?
I would rather him be quiet than tell his people that follow him a lie. Yeah, 100%. It's better to be quiet than to be
he
lying.
doesn't think it's a lie, right?
But that's what I'm saying. So I think for him, he needs to do the work of actually becoming educated about these issues. And it's not hard. It really isn't hard to actually look up data and to look up the facts. I mean, with a man with his kind of money, he doesn't even really have to look up data. In fact, someone could send him a short list of the bullet points
Yeah.
and say, hey, here's what's actually going on in American society. But yeah, I think so. LeBron James frustrates me because he has such a big platform and he has the power to do so much good. I always say he's not a Kobe. I don't know how to explain it. I absolutely loved Kobe, and I think Kobe was extremely educated, and he just wasn't someone that the media could play.
But Kobe didn't voice his opinion as much as LeBron.
There might be a reason for that.
Yeah.
What about the Cardi B thing? Cardi B came at you for something.
Sorry, is that
Are
better?
you in a Cardi B or how did it work?
Cardi B and I have been in several spats.
So you don't like Cardi B?
Is that funny to you at all? That you and Cardi B are going
I know,
at
I'm
it?
in these rap battles.
gonna have to drop, a mixtape
I think
I
Nicki
know.
slaps harder than Cardi.
I
Yeah,
love
it's facts.
Nicki. Yeah, I think Nicki's great, and Nicki's
I love them both.
yeah.
What did Cardi say to you?
I don't even remember how it started. I mean, Cardi it's incredible how uneducated she is. I mean, she just got embarrassed on Twitter. She was just saying stuff about politics, and I was just responding. I wasn't even being rude. I was just like, she literally doesn't even know what country she's in, how the country works. You know, she's hardly, you know, when she types, there's 87 typos in basic words, and yet same thing. She's mouthing off and saying things about it, and she literally doesn't understand. Like, I don't even think she understands. Like, Congress has a Senate and a House of Representatives. Like, I mean, she has no idea what she's talking about. And the thing about Cardi that's upsetting is that I watched her on Love and Hip Hop. My cousin was super into that show, and she was at my house, and I started watching it with her. And before Cardi blew up, you knew she was going to be a star. She was very likable. Mm-hmm. And she was likable because she sort of, she was shameless. Like, she knew exactly who she was, exactly what she wasn't, and she didn't really care. You know what I mean? It was like, whatever, I'm gonna make it, I'm gonna be big, I have bad teeth. This is before she got her teeth done. And she was very funny and entertaining and enjoyable. And then something happened when she became bigger, that she got bitter, you know, and people started telling her, like, Cardi, you gotta care about politics. No, you literally don't, Cardi. You don't have to care about politics.
Would you ever fight her in like a trailer boxing event or anything? Like Candace Owens versus Cardi B? Like,
I would do that.
Oh, would you really?
shit.
Cardi B
Yo,
might
actually,
have you
time
though.
out. That'd be
Candace would
fucking-
fuck her up.
I don't know.
Celeb
I
boxing,
haven't
would do
really
it.
seen either, but fighting wise, but I think that would be like the main event headline.
Yeah.
They should do Cardi B versus Candace. Like,
No,
fucking
100%.
main
What
event.
about you and AOC though?
What do you mean?
Like in a boxing match.
boxing? She would never do it. She doesn't even respond to anything that I say because it's hard. Like, her whole thing is like, anytime anybody says anything to her, she's like, "You want to have sex with me?"
Yeah, can we
or
talk
like,
about her
"You're a
tweet?
racist."
Is
It's
your goal-
weird.
is your
How
goal
weird
to
Did you
is
see
that?
her tweet? You
I
responded
seen
to it on
that, yeah,
Tucker
yeah.
Carlson the other night.
Like, what kind of response is that? Like,
What do
anybody
you ever think
criticizes-
though?
Wait, Bob, hold on. What did she
Chill,
say
chill.
though?
Sorry.
Huh?
What did AOC tweet and you responded to it?
It was just ridiculous. And she does this all the time. If anybody critiques her, she just says either her three things are like, "You're a racist Republican,"
Can I read it?
or like, "You want to, like, basically you want to have sex with me. Like, you're fetishizing about me." It's like, nobody in the political realm should be saying
So was
this.
the whole thing was that she always complains about masks, and then she went to a state with a non-mask
Yeah,
mandate,
she,
and like
particularly
enjoyed.
she complains about their policies in
Right.
Florida and DeSantis. So it's like, all right,
Why are you there?
why are you there? Fair critique, right? I
Yeah.
mean, totally fair critique. And she just came back with some
She
ridiculousness.
tweeted, if Republicans are mad they can't date me, they can just say that instead of projecting their sexual frustrations onto my boyfriend's feet. You creepy weirdos.
And then she did another tweet where she said, like, "It's so obvious that you're obsessed with me because you're sexually frustrated." And it was just like, this is not how adults speak. You know what I mean? You're an elected member of Congress. This is just not how adults speak. Respond to the critique or don't respond, but don't pretend that people critiquing you is sexual. And I hate that too, because that's like faux feminism, which is like a huge topic that I talk about all the time. Like, the fake feminist movement makes me want to throw up. I cannot stand feminists. I really can't. Like, it's such a cop-out to so many things. Usually responsibility, which is kind of a theme of things I notice, like a lot of these trends and a lot of these isms, it allows people to not be responsible. And feminism is a major one. Like,
You think she hurts women sometimes more than helping them?
yeah, of course. I mean, to say any man that critiques me wants to have sex with me, it's childish, it's bratty, it's not realistic.
I feel
Men
like
are
I could-
allowed to critique you without you accusing them of being some like perverse weirdos. You know what I mean? I get critiqued the entire time. My response is not, "Oh, he wants to just have sex with me." I mean, it's childish.
Yeah. I feel
You
like
probably
I
like AOC though.
could, I think I could pull AOC.
I feel like
You
you
think I
like her.
could?
She was probably talking
Like if
about.
I saw AOC
she
at a
was
bar,
probably
I think I
talking
could
about
pull her
you.
or no?
Probably not.
I say
honestly.
yes. Have you seen her boyfriend?
No.
100% you could.
What do you mean?
Go in.
Not a good looking guy?
Not a good looking guy.
Really?
Oh, like 100%.
What
you
does
could
he
pull
do?
her. I don't know. I think he works
you, by
with
the way.
her and stuff.
Appreciate
Yeah,
that.
100%.
He's
Voter
probably got a great
confidence.
heart though. He's
Go
probably got a
for
great
it.
heart. That's all I'll say.
Yeah,
He's
he
probably
gets
got
that sometimes too.
probably got a great
To his
heart.
girlfriend. They're like, have you seen him? Yeah.
Why don't you just pipe it, Aaron? All right. Sorry, I already have an anxiety attack here and here. For God's sake.
What is the whole feminism like movement?
It's so fake. Come on. Feminism it's the biggest joke in the entire world. First off, nothing that feminism aspires to today, modern feminism, makes women happy. I don't even understand it anymore. Like, a guy opens a door and you're like, "Oh yeah, why are you holding a door for me? I can do it myself."
So that's what it is. Like, what's the definition of like feminism?
Today,
Yeah, today.
it's a shifting definition. There's been different waves of feminism. But today, they pretend it's about equality with men. It's not. They actually hate men. And usually the people that are at the forefront of the feminist movement
Yeah,
are
the basis
people
of equality.
that hate men. I mean, like, you've got Lena Dunham, like, who just rants and raves about how men are awful and terrible all the time, who is to me the mascot of the fourth wave feminism. It's like, if you don't like my body for being 3,000 pounds, it's because of the patriarchy. No, it's because nobody likes that. That's disgusting. It's unhealthy, and nobody should want to date that. Like, women, I don't want to look at it. Men don't want to look at it, and I'm straight. Like, so it's a cop-out. It means I don't want to get healthy, but instead of me going to the gym, I'm going to say that the men in the patriarchy created this idea that people should be healthy and take care of themselves. It drives me insane. I absolutely cannot stand it.
What about women that always say, like, women don't get paid as much as men?
Yeah.
I always hear that. How do you respond to that?
It drives me insane. It drives me
Is
insane.
that a fact?
But that's true, no?
It is not true when they do the same jobs as men. I'm sorry you want to work at Vogue and pick out pretty bags for a photo shoot, but you don't get paid as much as an engineer. Men and women have different interests. We are biologically different. When I was in school, every single girl that I was friends with was majoring in either comms or TMD fashion, right? The truth is that if you go into a career and you want to be a buyer for Macy's, and men are, taking business classes and want to go be CEOs of hedge funds, they're going to make more money. We have different interests. And there's nothing wrong with that, by the way. Like, men and women are not the same. We are biologically different. We have biological predispositions. The idea that women should want to climb the top of a ladder and, go into corporate America and be there forever. Women want to have kids, right? So there's another reason that they're not making as much money as men, is because a lot of women want to stay home with their children, which is an admirable goal, which feminism tries to wipe away. Like, oh, if you want to stay at home, something that women say to me all the time, why don't you make your husband a sandwich? Okay. Is he hungry? Does he want a sandwich? Like, did he say something? I make my husband food. The last 4 nights, I made my husband dinner. Like, I don't understand this weird like, they're trying to shame women for taking care of their families. Like, that is another element of feminism that I cannot stand. It's an attack on family and these things that work. It works. But men are biologically unable to have children. So the aspiration to climb a ladder forever, to wake up every single day and not have to worry about being pregnant for 9 months, I mean, that makes sense. We're different creatures,
I think that's like a troll, though. No, it's like all you're good for is like, yo, make me something to eat.
No, that whole concept came from rabid feminists. Like, there was something wrong with being in the kitchen, right?
Oh, okay.
And this was sort of this push of women get out of the home and go to work, which has made so many women miserable. And most of them, when it's too late, because they feel this pressure now of like, oh, well, if I don't aspire to anything other than like family, then I'm going to somehow be a failure. And so they take on these jobs that, a lot of them take on jobs that, they know is not going to result in some budding career. Like, it's usually in fashion or textiles or something like that, when in reality women want to be married. Happily married. It's an admirable goal.
Yeah, a sandwich sounds pretty good, though.
Yeah. I mean, if my husband ever wanted a sandwich, I'd make it for him.
You're worried about raising your boy with how controversial you are and all this stuff, like raising him in the climate that you're creating here?
No, I mean, worried in what way?
Worried meaning like you're bringing him into a world where you're a figure that's talked about nonstop, and he's going to be hit early probably as a young kid with dealing with the stuff that you kind of created, and kind of he's just born into that world where, you kind of get what I'm saying here or no?
I think that's a good question.
It's a good
Thanks,
question.
Aaron.
Yeah, I mean,
Sorry,
no,
got
the
the
answer is no. I don't think, unless you want your kids to be, like, I'm not raising my child in the public eye. I don't post pictures of my family, like, on the internet. So I think he'll be separate from that. My child's not allowed to have technology. If he wants an iPhone, he can have it when he's 30 and out of the house. You know what I mean? Like,
30?
30 and out of the
Really?
house. Yeah.
How are you going to know where he goes and shit, though?
I'm being hyperbolic. He'll probably get it when he's, off to college or something. I'm very against technology. I think it's ruining children. When you look at these girls and they're getting their lips and their butts done and they're like 12, my gosh.
If they're 18, it's okay, though, right?
I had,
No?
no. Are
Oh.
you crazy?
Oh, okay.
What did you say?
He said,
If
but if
they're
they're
18.
18, it's cool. It's cool. Yeah. No.
You like
You
butt
bought a chick
injections?
new
Do you
lips
like
yet?
butt
No, I have not.
injections?
No, I'm not really into that. I like it
What
all
about the
natural.
lips?
I like all natural. I tell like the girls debating whether they're getting it
Right?
done.
They look so much
That's
cap.
prettier. They look
Candace,
so much
he's
prettier.
full of shit.
It's not
No.
true at all.
He is
I'm pretty
the
sure
I'll
best.
see
all
who you
that.
follow on Instagram. You are probably full of it.
I'm not at all.
Yeah.
No, not at all. I just literally like a girl that's all natural.
They just
it
look
actually
better.
turns me off, to be honest. Like fake tits and,
And like
all
the
that stuff.
lips are the worst. The white girls and the lips, that has to stop.
Yeah.
It has to
That's
stop.
like really popular right now.
They look like they got beat up.
It's crazy.
Then it deflates.
If it's
kind
overdone,
of.
it looks terrible. Yeah.
And then it like deflates a little bit, and then like one side's higher than the other, and I'm like, why did you do this to yourself? Why did you beat yourself up? I don't understand it.
You've never got any work done. You're all
No work,
all
no
natural.
work, all
That's
natural.
impressive.
I will
Very
not
beautiful,
get. Yeah,
very
I don't. I
beautiful.
mean, I never say never. Like maybe when after I've had like 4 kids, and but I'm not touching my face. I have a weird like thing about touching my face. Like I'm just like I'm not touching my face. I don't think it ever. I mean, sometimes actually, if you have a really bad nose, girls get the nose job. It looks good.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'll take
Like
that
Kyle,
back.
he loves fake racks and stuff, so I don't know.
I do?
Yeah.
You probably offer to buy girls fake asses and
I have
shit.
not.
Yeah,
I've
you
never done that.
probably
Like hang
Why do
around
you
with
think
me and
that?
Steve,
No.
you'll get a fake ass.
No.
Yeah,
Never done that.
100%.
When you date AOC, are you going to tell her to get?
Maybe. Would you?
I mean,
She might need it.
If it's what you're into, you can ask, right?
Yeah.
Whatever, it doesn't hurt
Yeah.
if she's your boo.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. I think girls look more beautiful covered up. I think girls look more beautiful with their natural faces. I don't understand this new trend, and it's alarming to me how young the girls are doing it. Younger and younger and younger. When I was that age, I had braces. Like I was playing outside. Like I was a tomboy. I was choreographing dances. You know, I just don't understand why these girls are like this now. Actually, I do understand. It's because of Instagram.
Yeah. I'll
you
agree
know?
with you there. It's fucked up.
Yeah.
Every
Now
girl
that's-
wanted to be Kylie Jenner for a
Yeah.
little
Yeah, she started a whole new trend.
Yeah.
And in reality, the idea that her mother let her do that to her face and her body when she was 17 years old, it should have been a crime.
Yeah.
Like,
She looks a lot better now, though.
She looks
like
good,
them
but
before.
I don't know what she was going to look like. She was a kid.
True.
Think about what you looked like at 17 years
Yeah.
old. She didn't get to grow up. I mean, I had baby fat. I do like pictures of me at 17. I'm like, I look like an entirely different person. I feel like my face started to mature when I was 23,
Have you gotten
24.
Botox or no?
Nothing.
Cap?
Nothing.
Really?
I've never gotten an injection ever in my face. Ever.
Wow.
Anywhere in my body. I shouldn't say my face. I've never gotten an injection of anything in my face.
Yeah, like it's you're flawless.
Thank you very much.
Flawless.
Thank you.
I think Kylie's
By the
so
way,
bad, though.
Can we pull up some bad ones that went bad?
But I'm black.
Yeah.
Look
Bad,
how
though.
young she was. Look, I mean, you don't even think about, she's got bangs. Like, she's a kid. You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. No, I know.
I think she was 15 in that picture
Yeah,
on the
Mr.
left.
Natural Beauty over there.
So she probably had time to develop.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
I know.
even a haircut would have changed her. You know what I mean? I
Would have
understand what she did because this was what was happening all the time because her sister was in the spotlight and people kept comparing her, not realizing she's a kid. I mean, 15 years old. Look at what she's wearing. She wouldn't even wear this. Look at pictures of what I wore when I was 15. I'm like, ew, what was this disgusting look? Or the way I was doing my makeup. But, you know, it's just, you're a kid. You have time to develop. You grow up. When you hit your 20s, you start. I still feel like I didn't really figure out. I feel like until I was 26, really, is kind of where I was like, oh, okay, actually, that outfit looks really bad. Like, you know, we were all wearing like weird American Apparel, Hervé Leger, thinking we looked cute. It's just, she was a kid.
This is kind of like Hollywood now, right?
This is Hollywood, though. They want you to
You
look
don't like
you're-
Hollywood, right?
No, I hate it.
Why?
They want you to look like you're 25 when you're 15, and people feed into it. So she was just tremendously insecure because she had cameras around her house as she was going through her awkward phase. And girls go through a really bad awkward phase. Guys have it a little better. And so she changed her whole face and her whole body. I don't know what she would have looked like. I really don't.
One of my favorite feuds that you had was with Harry Styles. Is that still talked about?
I feel like Harry Styles and I would actually be friends. I think he's cheeky and
I have
funny.
to tell you because you threw shade at him, which I
didn't,
He has
though.
no drip. I'll give you that. But girls love that guy.
No, I think he's very talented. But personally for me, I could not, like, a man in a dress is just not attractive to me. Don't care. There's no way to make it trendy to me at all. Men should be men. Men should dress like men. It's just not my thing. But we're kind of getting into a society where, like, things are getting weird.
With the TikTok.
I think they're
and
just
stuff.
trying to be talked about when they do that.
That was my point.
I mean, that's what I think.
It
like-
100% is why they're doing it. Why are you on the
and
cover
honestly,
of
girls love
Vogue?
it. So when he posts in a
Yeah.
photo of a
I
dress
don't
and all
get
the
how
girls
girls
love it.
that.
They
guy.
don't.
They love that
They
guy.
do
I
not.
know
They
they
love
do.
him because he's talented. He's talented and he sings and he's got the rock star thing going on.
Sure.
So Harry Styles being an exception. Women do not like men that wear dresses. Even if they were dating Harry Styles, they wouldn't want him wearing a dress.
Yeah.
They'd be like, why are you wearing a ball gown today? Where are we going? We're going to Starbucks. I'm going to put on a ball gown. No woman likes that. Do not believe women like that. What people like online is to pretend that they're woke and like, oh my God, this is amazing. Gender's a construct. Oh my God, this is amazing. Like, I worship. Oh my God. Like, that's online culture. It's not real life. There is no woman who wants her man wearing a ball gown. There just isn't. She doesn't exist.
How did I'm not gonna go. I'm gonna switch. I'm not gonna go with China becoming powerful. I'm not gonna go with that question. I'm gonna switch to a different one. How did you become friends with our buddy Dana White?
Dana and I connected on Instagram. I love UFC. I first started getting into UFC. I became friends with Colby Covington.
Oh, nice.
And so I went to the fight before I knew Dana. I went to a Colby Covington fight. Absolutely love Colby.
We were there, at the fight. Do you remember Salim? Our other, he couldn't be here, obviously, but did he pick her up? Or
I
is
think
that,
so.
Yeah, you remember that?
somebody pick you up
In
at the
Dana's room, he
UFC and
picked
give
you
you a
up.
hug and pick you up? Do you remember that?
Oh yeah, I do remember that. And like backstage.
Yeah, he was supposed to be sitting right there.
What?
No,
Yeah.
that's not me, but
No, I
he's
know.
not here.
I understand.
He was. I think he
But
said
I
he couldn't
am
make
strong
it.
enough
If
I
I
could
Explaining
pick you
that.
up,
I
but
thought
yes.
Salim was sitting right
Oh, okay.
here.
No, Aaron couldn't pick you up.
My name's Salim.
Nothing against you.
I
Against
could.
him.
Yes, I could. Yo, but with your boy, I think Colby just announced he's fighting Jorge Masvidal.
Did
Yeah,
he?
he's fighting March.
Oh, I'm so
a
excited.
big
I will
fight.
definitely be there. 100% will be there. I love Colby. And so yeah, so I met Dana after that. I was going to the fights, and yeah, he's just such a cool guy. I love him. I love the UFC. I respect all of the fighters. All of them. It's incredible what they do. Just tremendous athletes. I just feel like the UFC sport is bringing back manly men. I love it.
What do you think about Dana and his support of Trump and stuff?
Bring back manly men. I mean, not going the way the wind is blowing. You know what I mean? And that's another thing, is that people are too scared to say what they think. And a part of that to me is unmanly. Like they're just like pretending they're going along with all these ridiculous things that they know are not real, and Dana White has never been one of those people. I think he's just like, whatever. And I remember there was one interview with him that I loved. They were
He's so fun to watch his interviews.
It is.
I'm friends with him, and I still watch his interviews because he's such a good speaker.
He is,
and
he
he's
doesn't.
so
He
I
doesn't
don't give
take
a
the bait.
fuck.
He's just a fucking
Yeah,
nut
he doesn't
I
take
don't
the
give
bait.
a fuck.
You think other owners or not owners, I guess, but like other leagues are so afraid to be outspoken, right?
Yeah, they
He's
just
the
get into
only guy
line.
that's like that.
Yeah, he doesn't care.
I always wonder this because people say, "Oh, well, the media is just portraying it." But I asked you before, why though? What?
Power. Look how
Power?
much power they've garnered over this.
The
from
media or the government or
the
is
government,
it
the media,
people
the
above
media,
the government?
I mean,
what?
you have
what
to
do you
look
think it is?
into. First off, I don't think Operation COINTELPRO ever ended. It didn't end. I mean, if you
What
look
is
it
that?
up, the government began funding the media. It was a CIA operation, right? To just basically put a bunch of journalists into positions in the mainstream media to control public perception. It never ended. If you look it up online, it will tell you that operation never ended, right? It began in the 60s, right after JFK got assassinated, which is also interesting. Why did they need to control the public narrative after JFK got assassinated? Very weird. But anyways, so Operation COINTELPRO, if you look it up, it'll tell you it never ended, right? A lot of weird stuff. Anderson Cooper, for example. CNN is so obviously just an arm of the government, right? Whatever the government wants, CNN says, and when I say the government, I'm talking about people that are in control. Deep state is what people say. It sounds conspiratorial, but obviously it's very real. If you're looking at, I don't know if you watched the Senate hearings yesterday. Did
No.
you watch them? The
No.
FBI was very much involved in January 6th. Incredible, right? Just they were involved also in the Boston Marathon bombing. FBI informants. One of them,
January 6th was the White House Trump thing.
the Capitol storming.
Yeah, the Capitol storming.
And then there were these people that were like,
How are they
let's go
involved
in.
in it?
So there were these informants that were like, let's go into the Capitol. Let's go into the Capitol. We should go in. He whispers in someone's ear, and the guy starts removing the barriers. And so we knew from the beginning, I was like, none of this makes any sense. You're going to tell me that in D.C., which I have a home in D.C. I was living in D.C. at the time. I was 9 months pregnant during the storming of the Capitol. You're going to tell me that in D.C. you can drop off pipe bombs a couple of blocks away from the White House and never get caught? Does that even make sense to you? It's the most secure building in the world, the White House. You're telling me some guy the night before January 6th dropped off pipe bombs and they still don't know who it is. Do you actually believe that in 2021? That is a plausibility?
So you're saying it's an inside job?
100% they plotted this, right? And I've been saying this since day one. Yesterday at the Senate hearings, Ted Cruz asked them up, they had the FBI on, and they asked them, Ray Epps, which was the guy that was identified as being tomorrow we got to storm the Capitol. Literally, he said, storm the Capitol. Exact verbiage. Tomorrow we got to go in. Oh, I'm worried I'm going to say this. I'm going to get arrested. Tomorrow we got to go in. Joe Rogan showed this on his podcast. And he was like, this is weird. This is weird. Who is this guy? Turns out this guy's name is Ray Epps, right? And they start asking him questions, asking FBI questions. Did the FBI encourage people to go into the Capitol? The woman's just like, I can't answer that. Did the FBI have any involvement with, is Ray Epps an FBI informant? I can't answer that. Did the FBI, take part in the violence happening on January 6th? I'm unable to answer that. Well, if the answer was no, you just say no, right? I mean, so what happened on January 6th, right? That FBI informants were littered throughout, and then there's all this weird stuff. They're wearing the same colors, the hats are matching. Very weird operation. I said from the very beginning, because I just said I live in DC at the time. You cannot There's a camera on every block. It is Washington, D.C. It is literally our nation's capital. No one dropped off pipe bombs a couple of blocks away from the White House and just never got caught. It just doesn't happen like that. It's Washington, D.C.
But what was the benefit of that?
I mean, to me, it's like the Reichstag fire that happened in Germany. It allowed them to seize power. Look at what they've done. The hysterical nature. They
But it
put
didn't
up
accomplish
fences.
Well, the U.S. has
What do you mean?
admitted
What do you mean
to
it
false
accomplished
flags
anything?
before too,
it just
right?
created more
Didn't they admit
chaos.
what was the
They
Vietnam
always
one?
admit to false flags.
The Gulf of
created
Tonkin
chaos,
or whatever?
They assumed a lot of power because of it.
Sure.
They were locking up dissidents. I mean, they have people in federal prison for trespassing.
Yeah. That
Trespassing.
shit was embarrassing, honestly.
And here you heard, listen to the theatrics. It was just like 9/11. What are you talking about? It was just like 9/11. You know what I mean? It was just like Pearl Harbor. I mean, it's absolute theatrics, and I think it was meant to be a warning shot to people of like, you know, we have a lot of power. We have a lot of power, and if you step on our toes and you question anything that we do, we will lock you up in federal prison. We don't care. People were rotting in prison for months and months and months. A 17-year-old kid with months writing to the judge saying, "I'm sorry, this kid had done nothing violent," and they locked him up. Meanwhile, during the Black Lives Matter riots, they were releasing people. Celebrities were putting together funds to let people, you know, be making sure that they were released, putting together these funds, bail funds. I mean, it was just insane. It shows you one side has power and one side doesn't have power, or maybe one side has a spine and the other side doesn't have a spine. Maybe Republicans get power; they don't do that stuff. But
Bob was there. He stormed the Capitol.
the FBI thing is nuts. You have to watch that video
Brad was there.
of Ted Cruz.
Yeah. Do you know Brad Martin? Him and Bob were there. They were storming the Capitol.
We know the guy with the horns,
Which one?
like the famous guy with the horns.
oh, the what was he?
He owns a gym in where is it, Woodland Hills?
Yeah.
Yeah. Can we pull up the picture of him?
You have to show that video of the FBI being questioned. I'm telling you, it's insane.
Yeah.
It's insane.
fucking nuts. I love it.
We cannot answer these questions at this time. It's
Yeah,
classified.
Bob was bar hopping in D.C.
So who
and
is
he
that
just
guy?
stormed this-
Well, he's one of them, but there were several people all throughout the crowd.
If you put Brad's
Flares
face
went
in
up
there.
at a
Yeah,
certain time.
That's our boy Bradley Martin.
Oh, that's
Wait, so what
hilarious.
happened to this guy again? You might have just said. I just kind of zapped out for a minute. What happened to this guy? What was his punishment? Did he go to jail? or
I
anything?
think he's still in prison.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And like,
Yeah, we miss him.
my question is, why is he still in prison? He looks ridiculous. He went to the Capitol building, which he wasn't supposed to be in there. Did he hurt someone? Did he beat someone? Did he kill someone?
But isn't like going on the White House like trespassing, like to the extreme?
You mean Brett Kavanaugh hearings? When they stormed in to the senator's office and chased him down the hallways and interrupted the vote?
That was wild.
That's what people did.
It was, yeah.
And what
They
happened?
did
remember
all
that.
the
That was
same stuff.
crazy.
They did all the same stuff. There was even a woman, which you
And
can
what
pull her
happened to
up.
them that did that though?
Nothing.
Nothing.
Nothing. They were all released same day.
How's that
No.
possible?
That's what I'm saying to you. There's a double standard. So this
Yeah.
was like,
Well, it's fucked up
and
then.
that's why I say, I'm like, tell me the difference between January 6th and the Brett Kavanaugh hearings. They interrupted the actual vote. If you watch, Vice President Pence, they were screaming down the hallways, chasing senators into elevators. They stormed Chuck Grassley's office. They were dressed as that. What's that show? The creepy show, Handmaid's Tales, inside of the building, like. And then they even had a tweet where one woman said, just push past the police barriers. So proud of these women. They're now inside of the building. And what did the media? Watch the media coverage of that. It's amazing. They're like, brave, stunning.
Now, was
amazing.
it these people?
Women finding their voices.
Were these people already in though, or did
How
they
many phone
sneak
calls
in?
am I making out of this?
yeah. What's the guy's name again?
I don't know if she snuck in because these were during the hearings. But I'm talking about when they stormed into the actual building, into the Senate building, and they lined the hallways. They weren't supposed to be there. They pushed back past police barriers. And it's amazing trying to watch like left stream media try to justify it. They're like, well, it was different because and then they have no excuse. It wasn't different. It was the exact same thing.
You think they could have done it better,
I
though,
know they
without
say
devil horns
because
in their
no
head?
one was murdered, right? And I'm like, okay, but you're failing to mention that the only person that was murdered was a Trump supporter who was murdered by a police officer. No one shot these women. That's the difference. You know what I mean? No one shot these women when they were going in. And so it drives me insane. Like, I cannot stand this double standard. The applause for these radical, rabid feminists that were all like, I was raped, so Brett Kavanaugh can't, like, none of it made any sense. And yet it was encouraged by the media. That's them in the hallways. They weren't supposed to be there. The police officers, a lot of them got arrested, and they got arrested, but it was like a slap on the wrist sort of.
That Kavanaugh shit was crazy.
That was-
yeah.
I'm sorry.
But everyone forgot about it.
That was crazy,
right?
yeah.
And now suddenly January, and that went on for a week. So I lived in DC. So
I
when
remember
my
that.
parents were calling me because they were watching the news, which was creating a different reality for them, and my dad's like, "Are you okay in DC on January 6th?" And I was like, 41 weeks pregnant, and I was like, "Yeah, why?" And he's like, "Oh, we're watching the news," and I'm like, "What are you watching?" Brett Kavanaugh hearings, DC was crazy, absolutely insane. right before January 6th, we had 6 weeks of George Floyd riots. People were coming outside. Their cars were being broken into. The stores were broken into. DC was on fire.
But that's
Didn't hear a peep. I lived a couple of blocks away from this. Didn't hear a peep during January 6th. And January 6th was what, 1 hour?
Yeah, but I mean, you had a
This was
viral clip,
days.
right? With George Floyd, there was a viral clip that everybody was seeing. So the Kavanaugh
Fine,
situation
but my
a little
point is
different.
But
just
she's
that
saying the media wasn't showing the
portrayal
riots.
of it. You know what I mean?
Sure.
It was, to me, it was insane. Like the Brett Kavanaugh hearings, go watch the portrayal of it. Brave women,
I love the
brave
clip
this
of
and
him
that.
saying he blacked out like 500 times, right?
What's that?
The clip of him saying he blacked out and he's like, more.
What's that?
Brett Kavanaugh?
When he said he blacked out?
You know that clip I'm talking about?
What? What did he
When
say?
they're asking him like,
he didn't
how many
remember
times
the
have
night.
you blacked out in your life? You've seen that clip, Candace.
No, I don't think. Maybe I
But
have.
the
I
guy's
don't
like, how
remember
old
it.
is he? Like 60
Yeah.
something? And they're asking him
No,
about
but
a
they're
high
like 50
school
times.
night.
He's like, more. 100 times more.
Yeah.
So he was partying. I don't know.
Good for him.
Imagine
As we
being
all
60
did.
and asking about
I
a high
know,
school night.
That would be insane.
you blacked out before?
Of course. I've been in high school before.
More than 50 times?
More.
More than 100?
More. Just kidding. Not more.
Yeah, me neither.
But yeah, it was all ridiculous.
Steiny, you haven't blacked out?
No.
Buddy.
No.
Like a
I remember
threat to
everything.
democracy. You know, no one called the
You're
Brett
getting
Kavanaugh
Kavanaugh
hearings
soon,
that.
probably for sure.
Whoa. Well, we'll cut that. Okay, so the way, I know this is totally off topic, but the way I heard of you is through Kanye West.
Yeah.
So you guys used to be really close.
Yeah. I mean, we're still friendly. Like there's
Oh, I thought
nothing.
you had a falling out.
No, everyone thinks that. It's weird. I don't know why they keep saying
The
that.
media.
Well, we did, and then we patched it up.
The media.
Yeah. So I think that maybe a
But
while ago.
he got like, not, I don't want to say hatred, but he got a little backlash when he first started like
Yeah. Because
having
he
your
got-
back.
he got a lot of
promoting you.
backlash.
Yeah, a lot.
Just a little. Yeah.
Well, he got a lot.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But he was kind of like the first outspoken to kind of come and have your back
Yeah.
with that kind of power.
Mm-hmm.
But
For
then
sure.
you think that the responses he was getting, he was like, okay, I can't be this guy anymore? Or do you think it was
No. Kanye's Kanye, and he never switched up on his perspectives. I mean, he's just free. He doesn't subscribe to the whole, this is what a black person has to be. You know, Kanye's a lot of things. You know, he's fashion, he's music, he's art. So politics was one thing, and he understands really how enslaved black people are by this idea that we all have to be Democrats, even though clearly we've been Democrats for the last 60 years and our communities have gotten worse by virtually every metric. It makes no sense. But yeah, no, I think he got of course he got a lot of slack for it because black people are not allowed literally to be Republican. The media will attack you and caricature you, and it's always been that way.
So how
it's
do you
just
change that then?
by existing and being unapologetic about it. I have never backtracked, said an apology. I literally do not care what people think about me, because I know that I'm on the side of truth, and that the only way forward is for people to embrace conservative principles. You know, I just don't care. Like people, I don't think they understand how little I care about what they say about me. You know,
Got it.
it's sad when the media can convince you of something, like with your own two eyes, you're looking at something, right? And yet you're sitting here saying something that you know is not true. Like I said, like men are women, women are men. You know that's not true. You're looking with your own eyes. You know that's not real, but people say it anyways, right? Black Americans are living like it's the 1920s. You're looking around. You know that's not true, but you're saying it anyways. And that's the power of media. And that's why they are so hell-bent on controlling the media, because the media has the power to brainwash human beings.
Yeah. I think Cardi B would have you in like a street fight, but like a boxing match, you'd probably have her.
No, I don't
No?
think she'd have me in a street fight.
No?
No,
Okay. Just curious.
no. 100% not.
So what do you think is the whole goal of this COVID thing then? If the vaccines aren't anything, like what's the goal?
I mean, I personally, first off,
To
everyone.
people that think it's like a real thing.
Yeah.
How do you, like,
I would say
convince them
first
that
and
it's, like-
foremost, I would encourage them to go back and to look at the World Economic Forum in collaboration with Johns Hopkins University in 2018 running a coronavirus simulation, getting together. It's on the Johns Hopkins website. It was called Event 201. And they predicted that there was going to be a coronavirus outbreak and that they were going to have to respond to it via government collaboration. And that's interesting, right? There you go. There's the website. This was run. The World Economic Forum got together and predicted that this was going to happen right before it happened. That's pretty amazing. Bill Gates, it's just incredible. Everybody that's involved in this now got together and predicted this. And so that's interesting. I'll just say that. I would encourage them to think about who has benefited from this. It's these people. They've garnered more power over humanity and over human lives. They've minted, 9 new billionaires. They've further made it so that, the mom and pop shops are shutting down, and that these corporations, which met with them, it was corporations that met with government officials to run the simulation, have garnered more power as our, small businesses are being shut down. Yet Amazon was allowed to stay open, Whole Foods, all of the Walmart, they're all allowed to say we're essential businesses.
So it's like another step to like destroying the middle class almost a little bit.
Worse than the middle class. I mean, it's just keeping all of the power amongst a small group of people. I really, and that is what I see. This has always been very clear for me. And that's what I mean when I say none of it made sense. Why couldn't the mom and pop shop stay open?
Right. So you think it's just like, I mean,
now
I
people
think
are
it's
asking
like
the government for money, right? People aren't going to work, and that's part of what Biden did. We'll pay you. It's scraps that he's paying you, and people were saying, okay, well, I'm getting paid from the government, so I'm not going to go to work. So even more small businesses had to shut down because they couldn't find employees, right? I mean,
how does this all end? I don't think it ends well. Like, is the
mean,
world just gonna get more and more?
I'm hopeful,
fucked,
at
Well,
least
it's
or,
trending
like-
in that direction,
Yeah.
right?
I mean, it is, but it's also not. Like, they're not showing you the protests that are happening all across Europe, and they're incredible. Like, what's happening in France.
Oh no, people are like are
Yeah.
woke about it, but it's just like I don't know what they can do.
Yeah, I mean, I
Like,
think.
what can we really do about it?
Well,
at
in
the end of the
America,
day?
we're protected because we have state rights.
Right.
Right. So in
Yeah.
America, and that's why they're trying to federalize elections right now. They don't want there to be any state rights. But in America, you move to Tennessee, and it's a different world, right? So we're protected in that regard, and that's why they're very angry about state rights, and they want to, dramatically, really just change the Constitution. So that really can't happen in America. Like, it can happen in New York, it can happen in low pockets, it can happen in California. It can't happen everywhere in America. So I'm hopeful because we have the Constitution. For other countries, I think Europe is turning a bend right now. I think the protests are getting pretty big, and they're getting pretty, like, it reminds me of that scene. What was that movie, V for Vendetta? They're all like standing outside of the parliament at the end. It's kind of looking like that in Europe right now. And I don't think that they can necessarily hold on. Where people refuse to abide by it, then it's not going to happen. The UK, where my husband's from, they're pretty much saying COVID's over and it's just endemic and it needs to kind of be let go. So
I hope
yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know about Australia though.
Australia. Yeah, that's crazy.
Australia is out of control. Like, Australia is an absolute police state. So
Worse than Canada?
worse than Canada.
Yeah.
Australia is worse than Canada. Yeah, they actually
They
have
had, like, camps and
that
shit,
they're
yeah.
sending
What
people
the
to
fuck?
that are not vaccinated.
I
yeah.
live in Miami, and it's like not even existent there.
Yeah,
It's
crazy.
incredible.
So it's like you're watching it on TV, but we're
Yeah.
just not living it.
I don't even
you
think
know?
about it, to be honest.
Yeah.
So
I'm just like, I'm not going to New York. I'm not going to LA. Like, I'm not going.
come to Miami.
Yeah.
And go out.
Yeah, Miami's great. And everyone's moving there.
Yeah, I know. Which is
What are you gonna
wild.
take her to Vendome again or what?
What's that?
We go to live. You go
Live.
out ever?
No,
No.
no, I'm
Because you have a kid now.
Not
You
because
used
I have
to
a
before
loser.
the kid.
No, I think I'm just a loser. I like to stay
have a
home
kid
and
now.
read.
So what do you
kid
do
now.
then?
I like to
You don't go out?
I like to read
Oh, really?
Yeah.
And educate yourself.
and cook. I love cooking, hence make him a sandwich. Like, I'm kind of a homemaker.
Sounds like a wife. No.
Yeah, I think I'm a good wife. Yeah.
Nice.
I don't like to go out.
It feels like a history class to me here. I'm just chilling, sitting
Well, just
back.
think of all the people watching all your business
This-
connects.
listen, there's a reason why I bring the best guests in here in the world. I balance things well, so respect that.
How did you
I
and Bob
understand
even
this.
get in contact?
I think he
hit
messaged
her
me on
up.
Instagram.
Yeah, I hit her up.
Yeah.
Like a late night DM or?
Late night. He slid in
Professional.
my DMs late.
I did.
He's
like
known
2
for
a.m.
that.
I did the
It was
2:30 a.m.
disgusting.
slide in. Sorry
was
about that pick
disgusting.
and everything too. My bad. Sorry about that. Just ignore that. You know what I mean? So
I said, this is inappropriate, but I will come on the podcast.
there it is.
Oh, okay.
Wait, 2 days sober is amazing.
3.
Three.
I didn't know because
It's the
you know,
longest
I-
he's gone in 10 years. I mean, this is
By the way, no,
crazy,
I
so-
beat Michael Rubin. I had that bet with Rubin and McCaffrey. I did 60 days. I beat Rubin.
Did you do 60 days?
60
How did you
days.
feel after it?
I felt pretty good. I mean, I definitely want a pound of Happy Dad right now. I'm not going to give you an endorsement here,
Yeah.
but you know, I'm chilling. I could use a little bit of a drink.
No,
I mean,
but
this
how
is
did you
the-
feel
if
after
there-
60 days?
I felt good.
I'll tell you, I worked.
I mean,
Probably felt
if there was,
blessed.
if there after 60 days, I felt the same. It wasn't really that big.
I
of a
worked for
difference.
Bob and lived with him at that point. It was the most miserable 60 days I've ever gone through in my
Really?
life. It was hell.
Oh my gosh.
Like 10 personalities. I mean, you were crazy, bro.
I know. Well, it's what it is.
Like,
well, crazy how?
Let's
like
not jump into
fiending
this here,
for
Candace.
a drink.
Yeah,
and he's
wanting to
fighting,
do-
and then
want-
he's taking his anger out on me.
Right.
So
Because you don't
like,
know what to do with yourself.
Yeah.
You know, yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So,
That's interesting, though. We should talk about that, Bob.
Can you?
I'm just chilling.
Do you think
I
it's-
Bob,
you know what it
let's
is? I
talk
don't ever
about
get to. I always am very talkative during episodes, and for this one, I'm like, I'm just chilling. I'm letting you guys go, and
Do you think it's odd to like?
You're pretty involved though.
I was involved in this. Absolutely, I love Candace. Candace is definitely a controversial figure out there. I have a lot of relationships.
I don't know why I'm controversial.
We touched on that,
I'm
right?
just saying. No, just through.
But do you feel like I get like it's fair?
Well, you're going against the narrative.
Yeah.
You're going against the narrative, and
Guess
what
so.
I'm doing is, like I said, here's the deal. If with somebody like
Feminists
you on
are
a show,
ugly.
right? It's some
Bob
Bob's
people-
very
right.
scared
some-
of like cancel
No,
culture.
some people be spooked off a little bit, right? In a sense, if you have somebody that's a little controversial.
I think if people
and
were spooked
listen,
off by you,
here's
they'd
the
be
deal. There's
spooked
one
off,
guy
bro.
going to bat day in and day out and getting the best fucking people on the planet on this show, right? I go pretty hard at it. So what I'm doing is
got
I'm just-
AB. You haven't got a guest before that in quite
Do you know
some
what I
time,
respect
but
about you
yeah,
guys? I
could
love.
it
You know
on
what I
AB?
think? I like the hustle of like we'll get on a plane and we'll come. Like that,
Yeah.
I love. I
Yeah.
respect business people so much, and this is what I'm talking about. Going back to what I was saying about people will be like, "Oh, my podcast never made it because I'm whatever," because I'm Spanish and systemic racism or something. But point being is that like you guys hop on a plane and do it. You know what I mean? Like that extra effort that it takes. Like I respect that. I
It
respect
makes
people
it
that
easier
hustle.
too. If you get people like you that you're dealing with, how likely
Our
is it they're
schedules
going
are
to come
If
to
you want to
Los
get
Angeles?
people like you gotta work around
Right.
other
It's
people's
like we could be
schedules.
outside your house tomorrow. Let's just do it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
And then it's like then there's no reason to say no to it.
Right.
And so people are like, "Why is this podcast successful?" It's like, well,
well,
people are hustling.
He wants to take a lot of credit. Hold on.
There's a lot of work done behind the scenes. These boys don't understand the game that gets to be played. But
So do you think it's smart for Bob? Like he has like 3 million followers, right? But
Mm-hmm.
he's super quiet on anything political because he's not educated.
Well,
so
that's
that's what
not
you
my-
think
that's
that
what I
people
But that's
do?
cool. I respect when people say I don't know about politics and they keep their mouth shut. I love that.
Yeah.
Right. Then that's what I was saying about LeBron.
Sure.
Right. If you're not educated, being quiet is respectable. If
But
you
what about all
are
those
educated and you know that it's a lie and you have a platform, you should say something.
There's so
right?
many people that are probably like DMing, probably not Bob, but other people that are like, yo, you got to speak up. You got to speak up. So then they feel pressured. They're like, shit, I got to say something.
People always ask me, do I have to say something? And do you have kids? Anybody have kids?
No.
No, you're good for a little bit. Then you're good.
not that we know of.
I think the responsibility when you have children is real because you're talking about a world that they're going to have to grow up in. So for you now, it's like, I'm not going to say anything. Okay, cool. If you guys live in California, if it becomes totalitarian and you're being shipped off to camps, you kind of impacted your own life, whatever, you deserved it, right? Didn't use your platform to say the truth. But when you have children, it's a different kind of pressure where it's like, this is not how we grew up. This is not how it was. You need to say something because being silent is going to cost their entire future,
What do you think about the next election? How do you think that's going to play out?
Well, we know right now Democrats are fighting to federalize elections right now, so they're very serious.
does
They
that
want to
mean?
remove. So states decide how their elections are run, right? State by state. And the Democrats are right now, like most states require that you have voter ID, right? Because you have to be an American citizen to vote.
Like a
That's
regular
according
ID
to the Constitution.
that you need to
yeah.
do anything else?
The Democrats are trying to pass a bill called voting rights, where it's not a requirement to have ID, where all of these
No
things
type
are
of
going to
ID.
be where all of these things are going to be removed because they say that ID is racist. But vaccine passports aren't racist. That's fine. But somehow it's racist to require people to have IDs. That is absolutely nuts. Okay.
So stupid.
So if you want to know why they just last year they got over 2 million people over the border. Over 2 million people. The idea is that they're going to harvest ballots, right? They're going to say this many people live here. They're just going to have a bunch of votes that weren't really filled out by these people, and they're going to mail them all in, and they're going to say to check it is racist. That's what they're trying to do right now. That is what is being pushed through. And they want to remove the filibuster, which is in Senate basically like you have to have at least 60 votes to bring something to the floor for a vote. And they want to remove that barrier because it will make it so that they need a simple majority to pass that law, like to pass that bill, the Voting Rights Act. It's insane. Like they're just openly cheating. In New York City, the mayor didn't he just sign a bill that now 800,000 illegal immigrants can vote? Illegals can vote. Just passed it. Like, what are we talking about? What do you mean non-citizens can vote? What are we even talking about? At the same time, they're swearing they don't cheat, but he just passed it. So
why does he pass that?
because they can't
'Cause they
win
live there?
anymore, because
Oh, okay.
they will get crushed in the next election. I mean, calling moms domestic terrorists, sending the DOJ to, stand outside of these where is it? Where you I'm totally blanking on this? Where they
We're not gonna help you here.
teachers and the parents. What are these things called?
Parent-teacher conferences.
Basically, yeah. These like gosh, what am I? No, like the Savannah. What is the thing that they the DOJ sent the like parents? They're not teacher conferences. Now it's gonna be stuck in my head. School board meetings. Wow. Came to me. School board meetings. They were the FBI sitting outside of school board meetings, classifying parents as domestic terrorists, the economy, masking children. They now can't win on their ideas, right? People are upset. And left or right, people are coming. I mean, you see what happened in Virginia. Republicans flipped Virginia. They just announced another race that they won yesterday, which Biden held by 30 points last year. And now Republican flipped it in South Carolina. I mean, they're not going to win by the rules, so they have to change the rules, right? So they're trying to just be like, illegals can vote, and they're just going to try to harvest ballots and say, we won the election, and if you even think about asking questions about how we won it, you're an insurrectionist, blah, 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 federal prison.
Is Trump the guy that's going to, like, be the guy again to run?
I don't know. I'm very interested to see who's going to run. I don't know
Who
who's
would
going
be
to run.
second, DeSantis?
DeSantis has been amazing. People love DeSantis.
Who else is in the mix?
And I think he has really grown. Ted Cruz is probably always in the mix. He's solid. Trump, I think he's
Like,
planning on running again.
I feel like he wants to, right?
Yeah, I feel like he does.
Do you think he's the guy?
I have to see the whole field. I mean, I think
You're
Trump.
beefing with him though.
No, I'm not beefing with him.
Oh.
No, that was made up in the media. I told you this. I just saw him at Mar-a-Lago for New Year's Eve. I was there.
Okay.
No,
He had a
I
Christmas
mean,
party?
you have to see the whole field. I mean, obviously, Trump was an incredible president. He kept his promises, and he did it.
He's never
despite-
going to unite the country, though.
No one is anymore.
No, you don't think so?
Absolutely not. No.
There's no
Yeah,
one
it's
that
gotta be
can.
impossible
No.
at this point.
Name the person that would unite
Yeah,
the country.
I don't think.
I feel like the
can't
parties
think
are
of it.
more.
Yeah.
They're
It'd
more
have to be
split now than they
fucking
ever been,
God or
right?
something.
They have to be.
Yeah. There's no one that doesn't unite the country. Who would unite? Think of any person you're like that person will unite the
No
country.
one. No one.
Crazy.
Trying to really think of that. Who would unite the country if they ran? No one.
No one out there right now. No.
Should we wrap it up, or should we?
I think we covered pretty much everything, right?
Yeah.
This
Yeah.
is cool.
I think that we're good.
Yeah, we also just launched on Spotify officially, so we've been on Apple and stuff too, but now we're officially
I'll
on
read
Spotify.
that. To remember, last week we also launched the podcast on Spotify, so you guys can for sure go now. You can listen to the episode. You can actually listen to all the episodes on Spotify, Apple Podcast, and YouTube. So you definitely want to do that.
There we
We're
go.
blowing up. It's great.
What about your?
It's
What about
amazing.
what
What's
about,
next for you?
What about your
What's-
plugs? We gotta
yeah.
get your plugs, Candace. How do we
I don't
get
have
you
any
in?
plugs. You guys know where to find me. DailyWire.com/subscribe.
I got to see that Trump interview too. I'm a sign
Yeah.
up.
Yeah.
That's where we watch it. DailyWire.com.
Mm-hmm.
You guys subscribe there to grab it.
Yeah, gonna interview some more people. Sit
What's like your
down.
final goal with
Yeah.
everything you're doing?
Man, I just
Would
wanna,
you ever run for office or anything like that?
if it's in the cards, it's in the cards. I don't have any plans.
Seems like it's in the cards though.
Why does it seem like it's in the cards?
Like I feel
You
like
got
you
the
could.
cards?
I feel like you could.
Oh, thank you. It's very nice of
Yeah.
you to say. I like my life. I mean, it's so vitriolic and nasty politics. It's incredible. I like my family. I like
So
the
did
best
I
part of
until I
every
joined
day
the
is
show.
Like
like
a whole can of worms to get into that, I guess.
yeah, it is. And like I like my Tennessee life. I want to have a farm. My husband and I are looking at buying a farm. I want to grow
That's
some
dope.
vegetables. I want to get some chickens. I've been asking my husband to buy me chickens so much. It's like insane. I told him don't buy me anything unless it's a chicken. Unless it's chickens. chickens. I want to be
I'll be the house
well,
next
you know
door.
why?
I'll be the house next door.
Yeah.
That's me and kid. Love it. All right.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, this is awesome. Thank you, Candace.
Yeah. Thank you so
Candace,
much.
you're
Thank
great.
you guys.
Thank
We
you.
will see you guys next Wednesday. Full Sim
Thanks.
Love
Podcast.
it.
Let's go.
All right. See ya.
Sweet. That was funny.
Was I good at your plug?
Yeah.
I feel like I did it better than you would have done it.
Thanks for doing that.
Thank you.
I don't know shit. I don't talk.
No, that's a good way to be. I actually respect that. Good.
It's a eerie place.
It's a very eerie.
Feels like this is the place where people just get canceled.
Oh God.
So Bob, you think what do you think? You nervous right now after that?
I got.
That was some heavy ass issues, right?
hours of cleanup work.
I don't think you should be worried. You didn't say anything.
I don't. Yeah, but dude,
You're like spectated.
I'm chilling. I just chilled.
You made a lot of fucked up jokes.
If there was
though.
one more,
I
if there
did.
was one
Oh, Bob
episode,
did. Oh.
if there was one episode I needed to heavily drink for, it was that one. I wish I see. That's why I wish I hadn't
Yeah,
stopped
why are you
drinking.
even doing
You
this?
should have just been stoned there, just like.
Oh man, can we like edit a blunt or something and then just?
I don't think that's going on YouTube.
No.
Wait,
I,
really?
I
What?
heavily endorse.
I thought it was
I
good.
know.
Dude, I'm
No,
gonna
this-
be honest.
I know it was great.
That was my favorite podcast
I know.
we've ever done.
No, not mine.
I was gonna tell you.
Bob
I
thinks that's what
think
people
you-
don't want to hear, though.
Bob,
people
you
want
have-
people want to hear
Yes.
that.
You have no
nothing to worry about. You have no brands right now. You have nothing. I'm serious. I'm not trying to be a dick.
Yeah, but here's the deal what I have. It's relate.
No relationships are gonna get
Dude,
jeopardized.
Kanye would love that podcast.
Bro,
I have Kanye yet.
I was here and I was like,
Hey, good luck with Tony Hawk, guys. Go enjoy him. All right, go enjoy Tony Hawk.
Tony would be good for the fans, you moron.
Go enjoy Tony Hawk. All right. We need to stay the course on how we did it from the
Yeah,
beginning.
the guy wants to do Josh Gordon, bro. 50K views for Josh Gordon.
Josh gets inactivated for the playoffs.
Enjoy Tony Hawk.
Go talk about the 980 he spun 6 years ago. All right. No, Tony's.
Fans would like that.
Tony's the great.
Fine, fuck it. I'm not gonna ever hit up anybody.
That's
else.
funny.
And Aaron's like, yeah, hit up Tony Hawk. Remember who fucking got you Tony Hawk?
Yeah, well, I kept the relationship.
Yeah, good.
Tony Hawk.
Dude, you should try and get a fucking birdhouse deal.
We need to do. We need to have our next guest be like the worst guest of all time.
This idiot.
Oh my god, I'm dead, bro. I love that Tony Hawk shit.
Why? You don't think it would be
No, it
good?
was great. But Bob's just
Why do you
like-
roast me like
no,
that?
No, we're not roasting you. We were just like, because we were talking about it before.
Bob, you pulled one big guy.
I really want to know how he broke the Olympic record in
you pulled-
1927.
You pulled one big guy.
Tony, I love you. What?
AB's your biggest guy.
Brother, stop.
Who else
has there been?
Bob, he redeemed himself, but he was dry for a long time.
I was
Yeah.
dry because.
Who was the last guy you got before AB? You're acting like you're the god.
Yeah, Trump Jr. was the last
Boys, I'm going to step out of this. Trump Jr. is the last guy.
guy. He was.
By the way, I believe in our contract it says mutually agreed upon
What, guess?
release of podcast episodes.
No.
I believe
It's already.
I believe Wiggum talked that in there.
It's already.
Mutually
Fuck, you
agreed
didn't
upon.
even say anything on that. Why did you pussy?
Aaron, let me process my thoughts. I have to call the Secretary of Defense, and I'll be right back. All right?
The Secretary of Defense that I know, he's a supporter of her.
Shut up, Aaron. Get away.
Yeah,
He's never allowed
All
to.
the people you fuck with
Yeah,
love
you're
her.
so dumb, dude. You don't know anything about anything, bro.
That's
I'm
fine.
sorry.
That's fine. I'm keeping everything neutral. I gotta go.
He's gonna post 5 stories
I'm
about
gonna
masks.
crack tonight. I'm gonna crack. I'm drinking.
He supports masks, everything.
Yeah, you should be.
Brett,
drinking.
get out of the frame. You're fired. Let's go. The whole team is falling apart.
Alright, we'll see you guys next week. Comment who you guys want to see us get. We're getting some big people. We're on a roll this year. Wilson Podcast. We're taking
We're
over.
gonna get next.
Let us know what you think of Steiny.
Let's go. That was fun. Thank you
Maybe
for having me, guys.
no Fortnite hoodies, and we'll see.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
I'm,
joking. I love it.
I'm
It's
working on a
sexy.
deal with them. That's why.
Probably works. No more alcohol for you.